Chapter 29. The Bellacoff. To stop this cycle, thou must go to the place of thy origin, and remember who thou art. But I shall caution thee, this path leadeth to darkness. For as I am sure Patila hath toldeth thee, the story of your past is not the happiest. Matara, Traitor to the Traitors, from Wounds of the Nest by Duchess Antenia. Warnka. Eurys's second issue of Warnen gave us disturbing news. First was the Tankaraya's coded message, which said that someone's brown dog had fleas. Eileen, Felink, and Elika looked very worried about this, which in turn worried the rest of us. "What is wrong?" I asked. "What does that mean?" Fleas means sickness, a dog means it don't affect dragons, a pet means that it's contagious, brown means it's a cough, and if they didn't say if it was a light or dark brown, so that means it's usually not serious, but it could be, Eileen explained. The newspaper confirmed this. It said that in retaliation for an uprising near Vea, the Duchess had ordered that disease-ridden bodies be thrown into the town, and now the Bellacoff was sweeping through the countryside. Footnote, that's a fairly serious disease affecting Vixor and Fae, the former more seriously, thought to originate in the Bella Mountains. It is highly contagious and causes coughing, fever, and fatigue, but it tends to dislike warmer climates, compared to the Bellas. The newspaper recommended that everyone in and around Vea stay inside and away from people they didn't live with as much as they could. "The Circumcisional Conventions!" Essine exclaimed when she heard the news. Eileen blinked. What are the honored conventions? Flink shrugged. "I don't know, but the Emperor don't like them." Essine sighed. "They outline the rules for war." Wait. War has rules? Eileen said. She nodded. "Many terrible things were done during the Arno, and we wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. The Emperor doesn't like it because he thinks that the Commonwealth just created it to weaken Draco even further." "Oh, well, anyway, what do you think about Warren's advice?" Eileen asked. "I'd ask your parents about this, but my opinion is that we should follow it as much as possible," said Felink. "The problem is that we can't buy or trade nothing without seeing someone else, which means that the only way for us to get food is to either risk getting the cough or to forage for food in the mid-fall. This shouldn't last very long, though. Maybe just a few weeks." Luz blinked. "Couldn't we hunt?" Elika shook her head. "No, Vea's hunters roam El's forest and are very protective of their hunting grounds." "Perhaps Pavokid Luz no Bioshan I could on the errands," Sina suggested. "Yeah, wanted, but many of the villagers cannot read, and if they can, they likely do not care, especially about the other three of us." Eileen asked her parents, and so they were uneasy about it. They agreed. Despite our relatively calm reactions to this, anger burned within me. The Duchess's actions were always terrible, but at least they were usually confined to only 3 people. This would affect the whole region, maybe even the whole country. At least she had not released the Black Death, but that was a low bar to clear. Elika appeared to have similar thoughts. "I feel like we should do something about this," I nodded. "I agree. This may be the worst of all the terrible things the Duchess has done." "Yes," said Felink, "but what should we do about it?" "Someone get me a map," said Essina. Eileen spread one out on the floor. "I think we should attack a fort. Perhaps..." She pointed to a place in the Bella Mountains, marked with some words. "Yeah, Fort Birk. Interesting name. Do you know anything about it? How closely it is guarded, how easy it is to get to, and things like that?" "Many people complained about it since it is cold and remote," said Pavokit. "I believe that is where the name comes from, because it is what people would say when they were sent there." "All right." She seemed to speak colder than I expected, even from her. "Does anyone else have any information?" Pavokid's right. Most soldiers don't like Fort Pirk because of what it is. It's a powerful location at one of the mouth of one of the few good roads to the Bellas, but one that's hard to live at, said Alika. In fact, I think most of them would jump at an excuse to abandon it. Pavokid nodded. That sounds like what I've heard. Wonderful, said Asina. They lose a strategic point, and we don't have to work very hard to take it. Do you know who his stations are? I ain't sure, said Alika. I know there's a count in that area who's also a powerful general who... so he might be there. Count Pavot, I think. Other than that, I would guess it would just be regular soldiers. Maybe even the bad soldiers, given its location. I think I have heard of him. Someone once tried to falsely accuse him of treason, but he overheard the entire plan and killed everyone present, Pavokid said. He sounds wonderful, Asina said dryly. Does anyone have a map of the fort? No one did, she sighed. Alright then, we could bend the door down, but the lock... Break the door down, we're flying. The first is fast but dangerous and imprecise. The second could work but will take a long time, and the lock may not be good for melting. The third is how this is usually done, but it will take a long time and is loud. The fourth could work, but only if there's some kind of open area beyond the main walls. I think it would be best to go to the fort and plant further from there. There is the cough to worry about, but that won't be a problem as long as we stay away from towns. And for some reason, there are Vix in the military. But the Emperor hates us, so why would he do that? Feeling frowned. I don't like the idea of bringing so many children around, but guess it already looks like you're in danger, he sighed. Guess the two of you did come to the party, and Elik and I will be there to protect you. I do not think I should come, said Notcha. I blinked. Are you sure? She nodded. I cannot fight. I will not be of any use. And the last time I came with you, I just got captured and needed to be rescued. Last time we were negotiating a hostage situation, but now it is just an attack, so I will be of no use. I shrugged. All right, if it's what you want. If it means no fewer children in danger, I have no objections, said Felink. Ligan nodded. It's settled then, I said. When should we leave? It's about 2 days from here with boats, horses, and Pavokid, so tomorrow morning, I think, Asina said. Felink nodded. Yes, that sounds good. Right now, though, said Aileen, who had just entered, it is time for lunch. So, most of us had fish soup and bread for lunch. Well, Notcha had vegetable soup, bread, and fish. So, you never finished telling the story of Felink, Pavokid said after a few minutes. I blinked. Oh, did I? Sina nodded. Yes, I've been meaning to ask you to finish it. Oh, I fidgeted awkwardly. I would have thought that after all of these months I would have continued it. Notcha looked confused. What story are you talking about? The story of Felink and the Sia, Eileen explained. Vix and Powatina. Great story. Oh, I frowned. Where were you again? Ilishka just joined them, Asina answered. I nodded. Yes, I remember now. Excuse me, Notcha said. Could you summarize the story for me? Eileen nodded. I'd like one as well. I know the story, but it would still be nice to have one. Link and the Lake nodded in agreement. I explained what had happened so far. Thank you, said Notcha. You're welcome. Now to continue the story. The trio went north of the Tia River and into its valley. Here they returned to Zadisos's shadows, and Felink turned back into a wolf, which surprised Sia. What happened to him? She asked. Daddy Lig cursed him, but now he turns into a wolf here, Sia explained. Oh, she said. Felink was now feeling even worse about the situation. Sia jumped onto his back, and the trio continued on their way. The second fragment was located at the bottom of the Viz Lake, so they had to find another magical artifact, this one of Okea, to allow them, one of them, to breathe underwater. Well, Felink and Lucia found it annoying that they had to take a detour before getting on with their mission. Elishka wasn't excited to do something like this. They found an old man in a tavern named Remy. Remy was a grouchy, stubborn man who knew much about the world, but did not like non-Vixor, especially fairies, because he thought they were all spies. Asina sighed. It was one man. The man was Jean-Laurent Leconor for those curious. He popularized the butterfly knife. Asina, this is a story, not a story lesson. Lucelus said gently. Right. Sorry. Because of this distrust of fairies, he was very hostile to Assia, something she found incredibly annoying. Oh, by goodness, she said, her anger barely concealed. I am not a spy. I am not even Sylish. Just tell us where Okea's armor is. Absolutely not, said Remy. You'll only bring that information back to wherever it is you come from and use it to invade us. Assia threw up her hands in frustration, then stormed away, grumbling and tripping over her too large tunic. Now that she's gone, Elishka said, will you tell me where the armor is? Of course not, said Remy. You're working with a spy. I ain't, said Elishka. Her voice was calm and even. I'm just a relic hunter, and want to know where this relic is. Also, it wouldn't make sense to use it to invade Vix, since Vix ain't underwater, and there ain't enough set for a whole army. That's a lie! I know it is, just like this spy was lying, said Remy. Elishka sighed. Flink, who had previously sat quietly under the table, was now angry. He leapt onto Asia's abandoned chair, growling and barking, hoping to intimidate the stubborn Vix. It worked. Remy yelped and nearly fell out of his chair. Get that thing away from me! Flink did not appreciate being called a sing as much as Asia did not appreciate being called a spy. However, his anger at the situation had long since boiled over into sadness. Elishka put one hand on Flink's head. Will you tell me the location of Okea's armor? She asked calmly. Remy laughed. All right, it's in a cave in the northern Tia Valley by the Katic coast. Elishka smiled. Thank you. We'll leave now. She and Flink left and met Tessie outside the tavern. So, did you finally get him to talk, or did you just get tired of his nonsense? Assia said. Elishka explained what he had told him. She said, Thank goodness. Let us go find this cave now. So the trio walked to where Remy had told them to go and searched for the cave, soon finding it in the armor. Elishka put it on, and Flink thought she looked beautiful. But, said again, he always thought she looked beautiful. They then walked to the Vice Lake and descended into the icy depths. Assia using water and air magic to keep herself and Flink from drowning. They swam to the center and then to the lake bed and saw Zadisos's shade again. Athea. His voice was now more angry than mocking, but still just as menacing. And you have a friend. I see. Friend with Okea's armor. Oh, be quiet, said Assia. Just let us fight. So Zadisos's shade smiled. Gladly. He waved a hand, and a barrier appeared, separating Elishka from her allies. Let us see how well the girl fights. I smiled. Well, that seems like a good place to end. Varmka sighed. Is this revenge for Avatar and Felink? Yes. Helene laughed. You told that story? Varmka nodded. You should have seen the look on Sol's face.